Welcome back to Input 2, where we give all of our input on all prominent movies, TV shows, and video games. I'm your co-host, Tyler Wheatley, and joining me today, my lovely co-host.
Why, thank you. And my name is Bateson.
And our beautiful guest,
Tanner Kinney.
How are you guys doing today?
I'm doing pretty okay.
Doing pretty okay?
I'm alive.
You're alive? That's
alive.
fair enough.
Yeah.
You don't want to zero out.
No, we're not yet.
Haha. That reference?
He's fired.
No, don't do that. So we're talking about Ready Player One today, and I want to know, before we break anything down, before we get into everything, what were your guys' initial thoughts going into the movie, before you'd even seen it? What did you think?
All right. Well, the thing about Ready Player One is I had not read the book. I meant to, but I didn't want to suffer, so I didn't read it. But I saw the trailers, and the first trailer looked embarrassing.
Ooh.
And incredibly terrible. And then there were the Battletoads in there, and I just had no idea what was going on. And there was a literal egg, and it hurt.
There is a literal Easter egg, I will give you that.
I think the most accurate representation of the first trailer is the ProZD video of it.
That's fair. Dylan, what'd you have for us?
You and I are not going to get along this episode.
Yeah, there's going to be some tension in between.
So, before that, I originally thought it was just a call to my nostalgia, and I had a nostalgia boner ready for it. And I'm just like, yes, everything in my childhood in one movie.
Honestly?
Once they threw up Iron Giant, I'm like, done. I don't care how bad it is, just put me in there.
Just let me watch everything. So, Ready Player One was directed by Steven Spielberg, who we normally know as an amazing director.
Except for the post.
Everything's pretty much a beautiful masterpiece.
Director of Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull.
Yeah, you know what? We let that one slide.
No, we don't.
We just
We don't
cut
talk.
it away.
There were 3 Indiana Jones movies.
That's
There are
fair.
3. What are you talking about?
Anyway, written by Zach Penn for the screenplay, and also Ernest Cline, who did write the novel, so he also helped write this. So I feel like they went about it pretty well.
Yeah.
You know, the person that wrote the novel, let's also have him in the book. Cast some pretty big names in here, but also some lesser known. I did know Ty Sheridan before coming into this movie.
He was a Cyclops.
Yeah, but he was like kind of the only big name, it seemed like, besides.
Well, no.
But there were a few besides Simon Pegg, who was also big because
And
all like.
T.J. Miller.
Yeah, T.J. Miller.
T.J. Miller, yeah.
Come on, he was in the Emoji Movie. He was in the Yogi
We're
Bear
focusing-
film.
So he's officially died.
We're focusing on one CG masterpiece.
Yes. Olivia Cook, also known as Artemis. Ty Sheridan was Parzival. Ben Mendelsohn was Sorrento, and Lena Waithe was H, which I loved how she spelled H, A-E-C-H.
Yeah.
And I was like,
H.
So that reminds me of cringy game handles. I thought that was
But
pretty.
that's the point.
it's like bad Xbox 360 usernames.
Or Artemis with the 3 in it.
Yeah, with a 3 in it.
Again, that's the point.
I get that.
Bad usernames. But that was the major cast. There were some other minor characters that were in there, like we said, Simon Pegg. But overall, that was pretty much your main cast. Short film explanation over the plot was set in 2045. Basically, there was a corn syrup drought that happened, a bandwidth war. Everyone fought over this, and now people live in stacked, like trailer park-esque things, and their only escape from this horrible reality is virtual reality and the Oasis, which is like anything your imagination can do, you can do too.
Or anything Warner Brothers owns.
Or
anything
Warner
we have the
Brothers.
rights for.
Exactly. So they did have like obviously crazy pop culture references. There was like over 30 references in the whole movie.
Yeah. No, there are like 100.
Oh,
There are hundreds.
yeah, but like main ones you notice at
yeah.
least, because if you go through like all of them, I mean, there's a lot.
Yeah.
But obviously the prominent ones, they're like, you know they're there, they're right in your face. So, I mean, story-wise, little hollow, not a whole lot going on, but I want to know your guys' thoughts on just the story of it overall. What are you thinking?
So the story is decently a simple story of just the hero fights the bad guy, but like gets the girl, does all that, becomes the person he's meant to be. And like, there's nothing wrong with that in terms of this, because it's not necessarily you focus on the story, you focus on the visuals.
Yeah.
And like, through this world, you understand how like why the hero is like this or why the main female character is like this, and basically why the story is what it is.
Yeah, it was pretty simple. I thought it played really well, and
Yeah.
it wasn't too complicated to follow along. But Tanner has some thoughts.
I did not think that the plot was very good. I thought it was simple, and that's fine. It's serviceable. I thought that the romance subplot was embarrassingly cringy.
It was really cringy.
And that could just be because Ty Sheridan and Olivia Cooke have less chemistry than Harrison Ford and his romantic love interest, Sean Young, in Blade Runner.
Oh,
and
man.
just...
We're bringing up a lot of references here.
Yeah, no,
that's
I
the
mean,
point.
We're
that's
bringing up
pretty
more
much
references than the movie.
that's pretty much this whole movie. Let's be completely honest.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like the fact that the most interesting part of the movie is the Oasis.
Yeah.
But we spend so much time with the dumb human plots that the world of the Oasis doesn't get enough time to develop on its own. And it got more development in the book, but obviously you can't translate that into the movie.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's where you come into the fact that like you had the guy who wrote the book there to be like, we can cut out. I know there's a high school scene in the book because I'm reading the book right now. They cut out all that junk because there's not enough time for it, and that's where it kind of works in this situation of we just need to make a story that captures the idea of what this book is.
I did feel like we kind of got a very brief synopsis of all of the Oasis. They described it as being this giant imagination-filled wonderland where you can do whatever you want.
And that's the point.
And then you got a racing game, you got a fighting game, which was Doom-esque.
Doom-esque.
And then you got The Shining, and then a museum. And then some another giant castle and
they already
old arcade games.
Well, they showed that they could do that with spoilers. They captured the big corporate guy in the Oasis mid-flight of going back to reality.
Yeah.
So they do show off there's literally almost nothing that can stop us from doing cyber hijacking.
Yeah, they kind of do whatever they want. So I mean, it was fun to play with, I think, but I feel like it was kind of just centralized. But can you really make a 6-hour movie over everything in the Oasis?
No, because that's a series.
I wouldn't watch that.
It would be way too long. Let's be completely honest.
Yeah.
I do agree with you though. The plot was very simple. It was something that you can follow along with easily. It was very fast paced. But I feel like they kind of explained everything in the beginning to catch you up to speed. I hadn't read the book either, but I felt like I could catch up pretty well in the very beginning because it was here's all this, main character narrating things.
You can climb a mountain with Batman.
You can do that.
Wow.
No,
Wow.
Specifically Michael Keaton's Batman. Specifically.
I want to be with George Clooney Batman.
How dare.
He was goofy, I'll give you that much. What are your guys' thoughts, though, that there wasn't really very many real-world stakes at hand? This was all in the Oasis. Did you think that played well? Did you think it needed to be more prominent in it?
I feel like there were real world.
Yeah, there were real-world stakes.
I mean,
you're gonna own a triple-digit billion-dollar company that can literally shake the world in whichever way you want it to.
yes.
The Oasis is their lives.
Yeah.
It's become such a
necessity.
core part of how the internet itself is a necessity for us now.
Yeah.
Imagine if social media we have was in VR and we could communicate with people there.
We
Social
already have
media.
that.
Yeah, I mean
VR chat.
VR chat, but VR chat isn't
don't need
essential
that.
yet.
Stop it.
I don't want it. I
need it.
personally felt like you said, this, everyone does go to the Oasis, but there's still a real world outside of that. People can still not do that all the time.
yeah,
I know
but-
the real world sucks completely and everything's gone to crap now. But I mean, you kind of saw at the end when everything started to go to crap because spoilers, everybody died.
Everyone.
Their
does.
avatars died.
All their avatars.
Not the people.
Yeah, no, all the avatars in the game obviously were wiped, but then you saw people interacting with each other, and that seemed to never happen. It was haha.
Well, you lock yourself into that world, you don't really come out of it.
You do.
Especially as we said, it's a poo world where there's apparently a cornstarch syrup,
Yeah, a corn syrup drought.
Yeah, no
But,
more Mountain Dew.
No more Mountain Dew. You can't play your Call of Duty.
I don't have my gamer fuel and my Doritos.
I need my game fuel.
my game fuel
to power my Xbox.
to power.
my Xbox.
Oh my god.
That'd be hilarious if behind the scenes how'd you power all this stuff? Mountain Dew.
Just Code Red Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew game fuel.
So character-wise, did you guys like the characters, the villains, the heroes? Did you think they were solid, well-developed?
I thought the heroes were solid in terms of like it's the Robin Hood Merry Men kind of band where like it's the leader who's just in it for the fun who gets thrown into the conflict. But like the villains in my mind, the one who I found interesting was was like the woman who would do the assassinations.
Yes.
Because we got so little of her, and I'm just like, you kill people in real life?
Yeah, she legitimately goes out of her way to kill people
She
in
went
real
to kill
life.
the kids.
Yes, all the children. The children. Think of the children.
The children are actually dying right now in real life because of this woman over a video game.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
Yeah. Well, what were your thoughts on it, though? Did you like the characters overall? What were your thoughts
I
on them?
mostly like the side characters. Like H was fantastic.
Yeah.
Lena Waithe puts in a great performance. She was honestly my favorite character. Like you had Simon Pegg was great. Mark Rylance did a great job as sort of Mark Zuckerberg, except actually charismatic.
You know.
And definitely not doing illegal things.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Okay, I will say this. Sho and Daito are awesome characters for when they show up.
Those
That
were
was great.
incredible. I
Because, like-
loved the fact they played on like he's an 11-year-old like in every video game universe, and he's just like, I don't need a sign that says I'm 11. Like,
No, the one line, that's a problem I have with that line. It's like, I'm 11, shoot me. I'm like, that could be taken to many different ways.
I think it was
I didn't think of that one.
innocent.
I
It was
didn't think of that.
innocent.
It was innocent, but
I'll-
like, you know.
I'll go by innocent. I mean, honestly, I thought that I liked the VR characters more than the real life ones.
But that's the
just
point.
just because it was so heavily based in VR, because they were almost different characters at that point in time.
I mean, yeah, they had katanas and Gundams and
Well, yeah,
Gundams
I mean-
and everything.
I mean, yes, they did have obviously their weapons and such. I liked the VR characters more than the real life characters. I feel like the real life characters were just too awkward for their own
Bland,
good.
yeah.
Very bland. I liked the villains in a sense. I feel like they kind of did typical, like stereotypical villain.
But that's the point, because again, we all Americans, like, we don't like the top 1%. They are evil.
we don't.
Honestly, I thought it was kind of funny, the scene where Nolan Sorrento is trying to convince Parzival to join him, and he has the guy talking in his ear, giving him all the pop culture references.
It was so that honestly that made me want to die.
I honestly went like, how does he know all this? And then cuts to
and then
God,
you
I'm
just see like a
what?
small Bluetooth headset in his ear, and then he's just getting all this information fed to him. And I was like, why?
I thought that was kind of goofy. I thought,
It was really goofy. It was well played how they made him, because you're like, oh my God, he knows all these things. Maybe he's not a bad guy. And then you're like, no, he's horrible.
Yeah.
He's horrible. All of it.
Getting
He's a terrible
his information
person.
from
Yeah.
an employee.
I loved TJ Miller's kind of comic relief
Okay,
of
I
it.
hated TJ Miller in this.
I hate TJ Miller in
I
general.
don't care. I loved IROC. I don't care what you think about him. I
just
thought
wish
it
they
was
used
great.
a different voice, because IROC was good as a character, but like,
I don't know.
I think the voice is part of it.
Yeah, I think that was the
Like-
point. He's supposed to be this like big burly bad guy, and then he comes out and it's TJ
And
Miller's voice.
it's some guy.
Yeah, it's just some dude, like, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Back to the pop culture references, though. Now that we've covered all the characters, holy crap, there's so many.
I start listing
we
them off
literally
now?
couldn't even name them all. There's so many.
Remember Back to the Future?
Gundam.
Yeah,
Remember Akira?
yeah.
Remember Godzilla?
Yeah,
Yes.
honestly, you could go on forever.
Honestly, like when Artemis showed up in her motorcycle, I was like, that's an anime reference. I
like-
know it.
It's also basically one of the only anime references in the film,
Gundam.
other than Gundam.
Yeah,
The
there
Gundam
there
is
aren't
obvious.
that many.
But the Gundam is obvious.
I mean,
To be fair, they don't want to alienate the audience of like people who do watch anime like me and like other people, and like they want to more or less flood it with like video games and other things. Like there was a Mortal Kombat scene in there for a hot second, and an Alien scene for a hot second. And it just kept going and going and going
yeah,
and going.
there were a bunch. Did you guys think that there were too many? Like this was just trying to only play off
Yes.
your nostalgia?
No,
Yes.
no,
Yes.
no.
Oh my. Oh my. Go on.
All right. So I personally have a problem with pop culture references, like excessively in films, because to me it feels like this is designed cynically for audiences to look at the movie and see, oh, did they just say Millennium Falcon? I remember that from Star Wars. And then they clap. And
Just nothing but
They do
claps.
this.
Nothing
They-
but
they-
nothing
they
but
clap.
awkward claps.
They do the seal clap.
I got lucky I didn't get an audience in my showing.
Thank God. Let's be honest.
But like I can just imagine in a theater with like if you were at South by Southwest seeing this, all the people
lose your
there
stuff.
would just I imagine they were clapping at everything.
Well, no, because the one at South by Southwest like cut out twice, and then they had to replay it a third time. Like the movie would happen, and then the audio just cut. So then they replayed it from the same part, and then the audio just cut. But the third time it was fine.
All right, so the third time.
The third time was fine.
Don't you worry. The third time.
All right, so here's why I think it's cool that like there are all these pop culture references, because that's the movie. That's literally what the movie is. Like if you don't like, you have the story and all that, but like what carries it, like during the lulls of parts, is oh, I've seen The Shining. Oh God, I don't want to be in this world anymore. Let me out, let me out, let me out, let me out. And then like I recognized the Gundam. I recognized Iron Giant. It's just that's all that is. And,
I feel like you can kind of overdo it in a sense, though.
Yeah.
If you rely too much on pop culture references,
but they didn't
then
really rely on it. They just threw it in for fun.
A pop culture reference was like the core third part of the Egg Quest was the fact that the first Easter egg was an adventure, and you had to go to a secret room bringing a dot.
Yeah, it was all pop culture reference. I still liked it. I thought it looked pretty cool visually.
Visually, I will give it that. Like,
Yeah, visually I thought it looked
Visually,
really
it's like
good.
it's skin. Like I could put that on.
Yeah, like it wasn't like bad CGI.
It looked like a Final Fantasy game.
Honestly,
And I love Final Fantasy. If they had more Final Fantasy references, I would have been fine. Somebody comes out with a Buster Sword, I'm clapping with the audience.
Let's go for
They
that.
had lightning.
Did they have lightning?
13, yeah, lightning.
Well, Final Fantasy 13 doesn't count.
Yes, it does.
Any-
Talk about the discussion.
Anyway, break it up. Do you guys think this is realistic for our time? Do you think this could happen within the next even 20 years?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
It's already happening.
We're already
We have
on our
VR,
way.
VR chat.
I mean good
VR was a
versions.
joke.
I mean good versions. I mean good versions.
There are no good versions of that then.
Because in real life, what's going to happen is that the Oasis gets infected with lollies, and we don't want to talk about that. We don't want a world with lollies and Hank Hills. This is not happening.
It's gonna happen.
now.
It's gonna
You
happen
mentioned
though.
lollies.
He's not.
Can I
He's
leave?
honestly not really that wrong.
Can I leave?
No. So I want your final thoughts over all of Ready Player One. Give me your
I'm gonna buy it on Blu-ray, which is like a different thing for me.
on
Because,
Blu-ray.
Yeah, I'm gonna go the extra mile.
Check out this guy.
I got the big spending money.
Check out this guy in
I
his
got the
old
big-
school ways, not downloading movies
Yeah,
onto
hey.
his PlayStation or something,
Hey,
watching them on
when-
Netflix.
When your computers crash, come to me. I got all the hard copies.
I didn't think like when I had first gotten out of the theater, I was bombarded with pop culture references. I had gone into the movie thinking it was going to be terrible, and generally when I go into something thinking it's going to be terrible, I enjoy it more.
Well, yeah, you're lowering
for-
your standards.
For Ready Player One, I did end up enjoying it enough to where I'd say if you watch it on Blu-ray or Netflix with a group of friends, and you can ignore all the dumb human plots and cringy dialogue and enjoy the visuals and like, man, that's Raynor from StarCraft. It's the Battletoads.
I got that reference. I didn't get the other one.
Oh no. I mean, that's true. I feel like this is just a fun sit-down movie, even with like a family.
Yeah.
You can just sit down and your dad can nerd out over 80s pop culture
There
references.
are
Why you nerd out over the modern one?
Exactly.
there are worse popcorn flicks. There are
There-
the Transformers films.
You are correct.
Those don't exist.
I'd say overall, I enjoyed it visually. It was
Yeah.
pretty good. Obviously, it's a pretty simple movie, but it's something that you can sit down and watch and pretty much enjoy just because it looks good.
Yeah.
Even if the literal Easter egg is cringy,
Who gives a damn?
it's fine.
Fun fact, did you know that there are Battleborn characters?
Yes.
Oh man.
Battleborn.
And I don't
Remember
even want to get
Battleborn?
into it. I don't even want to get into it.
We're done.
But thank you for joining us on this episode of Input 2. Be sure to check out all of our content at bytebsu.com. Follow us on all of our social media. I've been your host, Tyler Wheatley, my lovely co-host,
Dylan Bateson.
and our lovely guest.
Tanner Kinney.
Thanks for joining us, guys. have a remix for you.
No, it's dubstep. I know
It's not dubstep.
And it's not Tyler Wheatley. Who are you?
If your parents got divorced when you were young, then you go and see the council where you're from. If you're only going to see your father on the weekends in the summer, but everyone's here to have some fun.
God, I'm in.